We have also joined up with other international campaigns, like the Decent Work Towards 2010 campaign of the International Building Federation of Workers. And we are now putting pressure on the authorities about making there is a whole lot of exclusion zones that have been proclaimed by the FIFA regulations, and we are trying to change the tide of exclusion zones and to make sure that people are included in what the fan parks and the public viewing places. And what we have discovered is that with our partners, the slum dwellers, the landless people's movement, the trade unions, the municipal workers unions, who have told the municipalities that they are not going to let their members chase vendors off the streets, we have found that it has accelerated some sort of a class struggle against the capitalist interests of FIFA and their capitalist allies, which means the FIFA sponsors and the government bureaucrats who have been using government procurement to make business towards 2010. In 2008, our Indian affiliate, the National Alliance of Street Vendors of India, initiated the World Class Cities for All campaign in India in preparation for the Commonwealth Games, which are taking place in October of 2010. And our Indian allies have got a campaign bus which goes all around India, and they have been using the campaign to get the states of India to implement the National Street Vendors Policy of India, which they achieved through organization, and to make sure that the National Street Vendors Policy for inclusive planning in the cities is implemented in all the different states of India. And they've also had successful negotiations with the governor of Delhi towards the inclusiveness of vendors in the lead-up towards the Commonwealth Games and during the Commonwealth Games themselves. Now, in the South African campaign, we are planning a handover to continue this campaign in Brazil. We have already noticed the mayor of Rio making the same kinds of statements that we saw our mayors in South Africa making. We see he also wants to be like Rudy Giuliani. And we are planning in July, when we have an evaluation of the campaign in South Africa, to invite members of the CMS of Brazil, the Coordenação de Movimentos Sociais de Brasil, with the trade unions and the social movements to continue the campaign towards the FIFA World Cup of 2014. Basically, what we have noticed is that when we have these mega events, the normal patterns of exclusivity become accelerated. We find that in practice, the rights to use public space that exist in our democratic constitutions and exist in many of our laws, those rights become less and less and less respected by the authorities, and particularly by the FIFA mafia, or when it comes to the Olympic Games, the International Olympic Committee, the IOC. And we find that there becomes a scramble on the part of the business sector and on the part of the local governments, a scramble for public procurement and for tenders. And we find that the popular organizations become completely pushed to one side. And any development plans that have been in place and been in process, they somehow get shelved when the scramble starts towards the mega event. We also find that there is massive disinformation that is given. Our municipalities told us that in the World Cup, all the South African laws will be overtaken by the FIFA regulation. That is, of course, completely untrue. There is no authority, not even the United Nations, that are able to overrule the sovereignty of any country and its laws. But this disinformation is widely spread by very educated people, hoping that us who represent the uneducated sectors will believe them. So we have discovered that we need a very vigilant civil society challenge and a very vigilant civil society movement to challenge this in order to claim our space when it comes to these mega events. And that is basically what our campaign is doing. it is something where we have been inventing as we go along, and we are hoping that this campaign is going to go from strength to strength, and we are hoping to see a very strong world-class Cities for All campaign here in Brazil in the next 4 years. Thank you very much. Obrigado.